Welcome back, students. Here in this session we are going to discuss what are the features of C++. Here these are the basic features of C++. Simple, portable, mid-level language, structured programming language. C++ is having a rich library. Here C++ is features of a C++ object-oriented programming language. Here C++ supports recursion. C++ supports the concept of pointers. Here C++ is a compile-based programming language. Here C++ is a very faster programming language. Here extensible memory management. All these 12 are the basic features of C++. Here now first one is the C++ is a simple programming language. Why? Because here C++ supports structured programming language. In structured programming language, program is divided into subparts. Submodules. That's the reason we can say that the C++ is a simple programming language. Here next one is the C++ is a machine independent language. C++ is a machine independent language. It means that here we can execute that particular program or we can run that particular program on many machines at a time. Here one more thing, here C++ is not a platform independent language. C++ is a machine independent language, but C++ not supports the feature of platform independent. Whereas third property is the middle level programming language. Here middle level programming language means C++ supports the both concepts of low level language as well as the concepts of high level language. That's the reason we can call C++ is a middle level programming language. Here what are the concepts of low level programming language? Here we can we can develop the kernels, drivers by using the C++ programming language. Here that's the reason we can call this C++ is supporting the low level programming language. Here that and it supports the features of high level language. High level language features are there. Here what are the high level language features? Here we can use compilers. We can construct the compilers. That's the reason we can call the C++ is a middle level language. Next one is this C++ is a structured programming language. Here structured programming language means here for example big program is there, for example like 500 lines of code is there. 500 lines of code is there. That particular code is divided into subparts. That particular code is divided into subparts. How you are going to dividing this code into subparts? By using functions. By using functions or by using classes. By using functions and by using classes, we can divide a big program, a big code into small modules. That's the reason we can call this C++ is a structured programming language, and we can easily modify the code. Next one is this C++ is having inbuilt functions. Here C++ is having lots inbuilt functions are there. Those inbuilt functions means predefined functions are there. Here no need to write the code for that particular function. If for example in C, printf and scanf functions are there. Cost function is there, log function is there, right? Log function is there, absolute function is there, right? Here these are the predefined functions. In C, to include these predefined functions, we are going to use mat.h header file. Is it right? Here we are going to use mat.h header file to include abs function and log function, cost function, right? Here in the same way, here also we are having various types of inbuilt functions are there. Whenever we are going to use these functions in our program, just we have to include the library, just we have to include that particular header file in our program, and we can use those inbuilt functions in our program. Next one is the memory management. Here dynamic memory allocation is possible in C++. Dynamic memory allocation is possible in C++. Here in general, whenever we are going to declare any variable int a equals to 5, it means that int a equals to 5, system is going to allocate the memory location to the variable a, and we are going to store the value of 5, right? Here after executing the program also, this memory space is used by this variable a only. After execution of the program also, this memory space is fixed for this A only. But here in C++, by using the memory management technique, by using the dynamic memory allocation technique, we can free that particular memory allocation by using the free function. Here we are going to use the free function. By using the free function, we can free any memory allocation which is allocated to any variable, which is allocated any data structure. Right? This is the main concept of C++, that is the dynamic memory allocation. Next one is the speed. Here the compilation and executing time of C++ is very fast compared to C. Next one is the pointer. Here what pointer means? Pointer is a variable which is used to store the address of another variable. Pointer is a variable which is used to store the address of another variable. Here C++ supports the pointer. C++ supports the concepts of pointer. Now here we can use the pointers for the memory, structure, functions, arrays, stacks, queues, list, all those things. We can use the pointer variables. Then next one is the recursion. Recursion means recursive function. C++ allows the recursion. Recursion means here we are calling the function within that particular function. Here recursion means we can call the function within that particular function. Here by using this recursion feature, we can use the code reusability is there. Code reusability is the important feature of C++. Next one is extensible. Here by using the concept of inheritance, we can extend the code of that particular program. Here C++ language is extensible because it can adapt new features. Here we can use the concept of inheritance. By using the concept of inheritance, we can perform the extensible feature. Next one is the object oriented. Here C++ is a object oriented programming language. Here in object oriented programming language, we are going to create the objects. We are going to create the objects. Depending upon the objects, we can perform the various types of operations, and by using the object, we can communicate in between two objects. Here there are various types of object oriented concepts are there. Here data encapsulation is there, class is there, data encapsulation, polymorphism, inheritance, all these are the concepts of object oriented programming language. Here C++ supports all the concepts of object oriented programming language. Next one is the compiler based. Here C++ is a compiler based programming language. Here we are going to use one compiler. Depending upon the compiler, we are going to execute the program, just like C. Here in C also we are using the compiler only. Here we are not going to use any interpreter to execute the program. Here what is the difference between interpreter and compiler? Interpreter means we are going to execute the code line by line. First line, second line, third line, fourth line. For example, any program is there, that particular program is having 10 lines of code is there. If you are going to get any error at fourth line, so remaining code is not going to be executed. First of all, we have to rectify the error which is occurred at fourth line. Then only after rectifying the error only, you are going to execute the remaining code of that particular program. Whereas in case of compiler, here 10 lines of code is there. We are going to execute these 10 lines of code. Here fourth line we are having one error, that here we are going to get one message that here error is generated at fourth line. So C++ is a compiler based programming language. It is not a interpreter based programming language. So these 12 are the basic features of C++. Now C++ supports the OOPS concepts. Here these are the main six OOPS concepts are there. First one is the class, object, second one is the object, third one is the encapsulation, fourth one is the inheritance, fifth one is the polymorphism, sixth one is the abstraction. These are the basic concepts of OOPS. These are the basic concepts of OOPS. Now here C++ follows all these concepts. First one is the class. Here class means class is a consist of data members and member functions. Class is consisting of data members and member function. For example, class ABC is there, public int a, void add close. Here this is the example of class. Class is consisting data member and member functions. Here class is a consisting of data members and member function. Class in C++ is a blueprint representing a group of objects which share some common properties and behavior. Here whenever to access the data members and member functions outside the class, we have to create the object. Here see here, to access the data members and member functions outside the class, we have to create the object. See here, to access add outside the class, we have to create the object for this class. How to create the object for this class? Class name ABC, obj is the object name. By using obj.a equals to 10 or obj.add. Here to access the data members or member function outside the class, we have to create the object. Here whenever we are going to declaring any class ABC public int a void add is there. Here every class is going to end with the semicolon. Whenever we are going to declaring this class, system is not going to allocate any memory location to this particular class. System is not going to allocate any memory location to that particular class. Here whenever we are going to create any object for this class, automatically system is going to allocate the memory location for that particular object. Right? Here obj.a means system is going to allocate the memory location for this object only. By using the object, we can call the data members and member function outside the class. Next one is the third property is the encapsulation. Here encapsulation means it is the process of combining the data members and member function in a single unit. Encapsulation means we are combining the data members. We are combining the data members and member function. See here, we are combining the data member. Data member is A. We are combining the member function. For example, I am going to use one more function. Add multiplication function is there. I am combining A, add and multiplication function. These three functions in a single unit, that is ABC. I am combining these three in a single unit, that is ABC. So this is known as the encapsulation. Here we are going to use various types of access modifiers. We are going to use various types of access modifiers. Here by using the encapsulation, we can perform the data hiding also. We can perform the data. How we are going to perform the data hiding means, here for example, if I am going to use instead of this public modifier, if I am going to use private modifier, private access modifier, then no one can use this one, variable A, add and multiplication. Here these are the private data members and member functions of class ABC. That's the reason only A, add, multiplication functions are visible to class ABC. That's it. For example, I am going to define one more class XYZ. Here class XYZ is not going to access A, add and multiplication. Why? Because these are the private data members of class ABC. If we are going to use this public, then easily can access by XYZ. Right? Here that's the reason by using the encapsulation we can perform the data hiding. We can hide the data by using the data encapsulation property. Next one is the data abstraction. Here data abstraction is the essential feature of object oriented programming language. In this case, here data abstraction refers to providing only essential information about the data to the outside world, hiding the background details and implementation. Here, for example, here public, in this example I'll show. Here public int a, private void add and int multiplication, two functions are private functions. These two are the public function. Int a is there, add is there, multiplication is there. In this case these public are, anyone can access the variable a, whereas in case of add and multiplication function only class ABC is going to here in data hiding means here we are going to hide the internal data members, add and multiplication. Here add and multiplication, these two are the internal data member functions of this class ABC. Class XYZ doesn't know about here what you mean by add function, what you are going to defining within the add function, what type of parameters you are going to use in add function. Here in multiplication, what is the return type of the multiplication function, here what type of parameters you are going to use, whether you are going to returning any value to the function main or not, all those things are hidden by the class XYZ. Whereas if I am going to use public int a equals to 5, if I am going to extend this class XYZ to ABC, directly I can use this 5. Here XYZ knows what you mean by a variable. A variable is integer type. We are going to store the value of 5 in integer variable a, right? This is the difference between hiding and hiding the data. See here, encapsulate. Here we are encapsulating the data. Here class is there, where previous slide. Here member variables and functions. Here member variables and functions, if you are going to define those member variables are as private. See here, as private. Here private means outside the class we are not going to access that particular information. Here if we are going to declaring the member functions and variables are public, then anyone can access that particular member functions and data members outside the class by using the object. Here whenever we are going to declare any data member or member function of a class, to access that data member and member function outside the class, first of all we have to create the object. By using the object only we can call the data members and member function outside the class. If we are going to declare that member function are public, then anyone can access those data members and member functions. But whenever we are going to declare the data members are private, then in that particular case only that particular class is going to access that particular data members and member function by using the object of that particular class only. This here data members and member functions are public, here data members and member functions are private. We are combining these two, it is known as the encapsulation. Here we are using the public means anyone can access the data, right? Here the data members and member functions are private, so here we are hiding that particular information. This is the difference between data encapsulation and data hiding. Inheritance is a very important concept here. Inheritance means here we are going to inherit the properties of one class to another class. We are going to inherit the properties of one class to another class. For example, class ABC. Class ABC is there, public int a void add. Now I am going to define one more class XYZ here to implement this one. To inheritance topic I will continue in the next video. Thank you.